Hello and welcome back to Learn Penang Hokkien. This is a series of videos created specially to help you learn Penang Hokkien, the Chinese language used in Penang as well as the northern part of Peninsular Malaysia. I know that if you want to learn Penang Hokkien, it's very difficult to find material in the language. You can go into a bookshop and you'll find books in English, Mandarin, Malay, even French, German, Japanese. But when you want to learn Penang Hokkien, there's hardly any book available that teach you the language. And also, if you go into YouTube, there is also very little material that actually teach you the language. And so, if you depend on a book that is not in Penang Hokkien or material that is not in Penang Hokkien, then it's almost like learning to speak British English using American English textbook. Over here, this is Penang Hokkien, and what you are learning is the language that I use as my mother tongue. So I hope that by following this video, you'll be able to speak like we speak here in Penang. This is now the fourth video in the series. In the first video, we touched on intonation, where we go for on the set of 4 tones with the rhythm ah 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 ah. La 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 la, lu 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 lu, mo 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 mo, ni 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 ni, and so on. So that was in the first video. In the second video, we learned pronouns. We learned wa, lu, I, walang, lulang, ilang. And then in the third video, we learned numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, chit no sa si, gola chipe kao chap, and so on. So those are the foundation. Today we are going to learn something which is very important. It is about the change in tones. This is still a very important topic, and I hope that you will pay close attention, repeat this video as often as is necessary so that you can master the change in tone in Penang Hokkien. As you know, Penang Hokkien is a tonal language. We learned in video 1 that there are 4 different tones, and the tones can be put into a set of ah, 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 and then they are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4. But that's not all that you need to learn. Now, in this lesson, we also need to learn that the tone actually changes. The tone actually changes when you fit them into a sentence. In fact, the tone changes the moment you fit another syllable to the first syllable. So, when you put 2 syllables together, the tone of the syllable on the left side will change its tone. The tone of the syllable on the right side does not change. So, if you keep on fixing syllables or words to string up a sentence, then there is a great possibility that every syllable may change its tone except for the last one. Okay? Everyone except the last one may change. But this is a very general rule. There are other rules governing the stringing of sentences where sometimes you'll see that the tone does not change. So don't fear this. Learn this, take it step by step, and I will guide you as we go along. You will still be able to speak Penang Hokkien using what I have covered so far in the first 3 videos. But if you want to attain fluency, then yes, it is absolutely necessary for you to learn these tone changes. In order to introduce you to the tone change, we are going to backtrack to numbers again, because we have seen a glimpse of tone change in the video on numbers. To introduce tone change, let's take numbers 6 and 10. 6 and 10. We can put these 2 numbers together to form the number 16. We can fit 6 and 10 together to form the number 16. Number 6 in Penang Hokkien is lak. And then the number 10 is chap. 16 is chap lak. Chap lak. The word chap has changed its tone to chap. Chap has become chap. But lak does not change. Lak still stays as lak. So putting 10 and 6 together to form 16, chap and lak together becomes chap lak. Chap lak. The word chap has changed to chap. It was originally tone 1. It has changed to tone 3. Okay? Tone 1, CAP 1, has changed to chap, CAP 3. You have to be very sensitive to the tones of each syllable in order to be able to articulate Penang Hokkien fluently and clearly. If you don't do that, you might be misunderstood. The speakers of Penang Hokkien might not even understand what you're saying. So it is crucial for you to master this tone change. Now we are going to invert the numbers. Then we can form the word 60. So 60 is lak and chap becomes lak chap. You see the word lak originally is lak, L-A-R-K 1. It has changed to lak, L-A-R-K 3. Previously, in the previous example, chap lak, the word lak did not change its tone. It was chap that changed. Here it is lak that changed its tone and chap did not change. Lak, chap. The word chap retains its original tone. We have also learned in the video on numbers that the word, when it is in the original tone, is said to be in the citation tone. If a word is in the citation tone, it means that's the word that you will find directly from the dictionary. In English, you can also say that it's the root word. But in Penang Hokkien, it's slightly different. The word lak on its own can be in the citation tone. The word chap lak will also be considered in the citation tone, even though it has a component in front which has been a changed tone. If you say chap lak, the word chap is a changed tone from the word chap. This changed tone word is said to be in the SANDHI tone. SANDHI tone. Tone changes has a name. Grammatically, it is called tone SANDHI. The name of this chapter is tone SANDHI. Tone SANDHI is about the change in tones. In Penang Hokkien, the tone changes when you fit another word or syllable behind it. The word that is fit behind it or on its right does not change its tone. The word itself changes its tone. What we have so far is chap lak and lak chap. What if I put another syllable behind lak chap to form 66? 66 in Penang Hokkien is lak chap lak, lak chap lak. Here you see two syllables changing their tones, which is lak becomes lak, chap becomes chap. But the final lak does not change its tone. It stays as lak. It becomes lak, chap, lak, lak, chap, lak. As you fit syllables to words, they will change their tone except for the last one. All except the last one. So for example, ang is red. Mo, fur. Behind it becomes ang mo. Ang mo means red hair or red fur. And then you put tan behind it becomes ang mo tan. You see, as you put syllables behind it, the original syllable changes its tone. So ang becomes ang. Mo becomes mo. Ang mo tan is rambutan. How about rambutan tree? Ang mo tan chang. Ang mo tan chang. So now tan changed its tone. So tan changes its tone to tan. Ang mo tan chang. Chang is tree. Ang mo tan chang. And then you can continue to put syllables behind. Ang mo tan chang hiyo. Ang mo tan chang ka. So, ang mo tan chang hiyo is the leaf of the rambutan tree. The leaf of the rambutan tree, ang mo tan chang hiyo. Ang mo tan chang ka is the foot of the rambutan tree. So, this is how Penang Hokkien works. By fitting in syllables, and every syllable will change its tone with the exception of the last one. Now, we are going to learn the pattern of how the tone changes. Okay, I'll see you in a very short while. Hello and welcome back to Learn Penang Hokkien. We are in the fourth video of this series, and in this video we are learning tone SANDHI. In our first video on intonation, I mentioned that Penang Hokkien is a language that you almost need to sing it. You have to sing the language because it's a tonal language with different tones. And in order to speak or to string sentences together, you often have to articulate words of different tones together. Not only the words are in different tones, but rather the tone of the words change. Yeah, when you speak the language, the tone of the words changes. And so, this might sound a little bit horrifying that you first need to learn the tone and then you need to master how to change the tone. But I can assure you, once you get accustomed to it, it becomes almost second nature. And it becomes so easy that you would change the tone almost without thinking. It's almost like swimming or driving. You know how to drive, you know when to brake, you know when to accelerate, and so on. Let's go through it together. The name, as I have mentioned, for this tone changes is called tone SANDHI. Tone SANDHI. And in order to speak Penang Hokkien fluently, there's no escape from learning words. You would need to learn a lot of words in order to have in your arsenal or your archive ready words in your inventory that you can use immediately when you want to speak Penang Hokkien. The words are all there for you to use and to look up. You can get them from the Penang Hokkien Dictionary. You just need to Google for Penang Hokkien Dictionary, and I'll put the link over here. That is the dictionary that was compiled by myself and members of the Learn Penang Hokkien Facebook group. We have managed to put together over 6,000 words that are used in Penang Hokkien. All the words that are used in daily life is in that dictionary, and the dictionary has audio. You just need to click and you will hear me saying those words to you, and there are also example sentences for you to follow. So use the Penang Hokkien Dictionary regularly to look up and to learn new words in Penang Hokkien. And now we are going to learn tone SANDHI. That is to say, the tone change of words and syllables in Penang Hokkien. And as I mentioned, there is a pattern. There is a very fixed pattern for you, so you don't have to worry, how do I remember this changed to what, that changed to what, and so on. In our first video, where we learned intonation, we learned that the tones can be placed into a set of 4, and we number them 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And also, we saw in passing that some syllables or some words have tone 3, 3. And here, I'm going to explain to you why the 1, 2, 3, 4 and why the 3, 3. There is no 1, 1, there is no 2, 2, and there's no 4, 4. There is only 3, 3. So, if you ask me how many types of tones are there in Penang Hokkien, I can say there are 5. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3, 3. Okay? And you also know that tone 3 and tone 3, 3 sound the same but behave differently. In fact, tone 3, 3 behave uniquely. It is different from the rest of them. Tone 3, 3 is different from the rest of them. The rest of them behave in the same way among themselves. Tone 3, 3 behaves differently. And the behavior that is different is with regards to tone SANDHI. Tone 1, 2, 3, and 4 changes. In the citation tone, it will change into the SANDHI tone, and the tone will change for 1, 2, 3, 4. Tone 3, 3 doesn't change. So, tone 3, 3, you can say as the easiest to learn. it is the easiest to learn because it doesn't change. However you put in a sentence, it will always remain the same as stone tree. The sound is the same as stone tree, but we put as stone tree so that we will always remember when we see that word with the tone tree, we don't change the tone. But the rest, the 1, 2, 3, 4 change their tones. Okay? And how they change is also very easy to learn. In the citation form, tone 1 and tone 2 change to tone 3. 1 and 2 change to tone 3. Words and syllables in tones 3 and 4 change to tone 1. Okay? 3 and 4 change to tone 1. 1 and 2 change to tone 3. So it's almost like a rotation in a cycle. 1, 2 becomes 3, 3 and 4 becomes 1. 1 and 2 becomes 3, 3 and 4 becomes 1. So if you take a word out from the dictionary, it is in the citation tone. That is to say, the final syllable of that word has no change in tone yet. So if that final syllable or word is tone 1, if you fit another word behind it, that one will change to 3. Similarly, if the word comes out from the dictionary with a tone 2 at the final syllable, if you put another word or syllable behind that tone 2, that 2 will change to tone 3. If that final syllable is tone 3, that syllable will change to tone 1. And if that final syllable is tone 4, it will change to tone 1 also. Okay? Tone 3 and tone 4 change to tone 1. And if the final syllable is tone 3, even if you put another word or syllable behind it, it will stay as tone 3. Easy to understand? Now I'm going to show you some examples. So the first word is ang as in husband. If you put the word bo behind it, bo means wife. You can fit two syllables together to form a compound word. So in grammar, those syllables that has a meaning also has a name. It's called a morpheme. So ang is a morpheme, bo is a morpheme. When we put these two morphemes together, we create a new word. So the new word here is ang bo. Notice that ang has changed to ang. Ang is tone 1, it has changed to ang as in ang bo. So remember, tone 1 changes to tone 3. Now let's look at another example. The next one is kang. Kang means home. And we put it to tao. Tao means head. Kang and tao together makes kang tao. Kang tao means deal or business opportunity. Such as if you meet up with a friend, the friend might ask you, "还没好kang tao?" It means, do you have any good deals or do you have any new business opportunity? The third one is ka. Ka is leg. And then te. Te is bottom. Ka and te put together becomes kate. Kate. And always notice the first syllable will change its tone. The second syllable or the final syllable does not change its tone. So kate is sole or the bottom of the foot. Kate. It comes from ka and te. Tu is big. Tu is big. And then ka again is the leg. Ka. So tu plus ka is tu ka. Tu ka is pork leg. Tu becomes tu ka. Pang is fragrant. Pang is fragrant. Zui is water. Zui is water. So pang zui. Pang zui is perfume. Pang zui is perfume. So you will notice that the building blocks of words are to put these morphemes together. These components are put together and that will result in more words. So sometimes when you look at words in Penang Hokkien, they compress components. They are compound words that compresses many words that on its own has its own meaning, but when you fit them together, they create new words with new meaning. So pang plus zui, fragrant plus water becomes perfume, pang zui. The next one is kia. Kia is afraid. Kia is afraid. Su is to lose or to be defeated. So kia plus su becomes kia su. Kia su means the fear of losing. The fear of losing. And I think this is quite a common word, a popular word, especially in Singapore, even though they would spell it this way, Kiasu, without any tone numbers and without nasalization. So this is how they would spell it in Singapore Hokkien, but it's the same word in Penang Hokkien, but we spell it differently. We spell it as you see here, kia su, kia su. Now, second is tone 2. So far, all the examples that I've given are from tone 1. Now, let's go to tone 2. The first word is ang. Ang is red. And pao is packet. So, ang pao is red packet. So, when I say the example is tone 2, I'm always referring to the first word. So, the first word here is ang. It now changed to ang pao. So tone 2 has changed to tone 3. So all words that starts with tone 2 will change to tone 3. So ang plus pao has become ang pao. Ang pao, red packet. So this is the red packet that is given during Chinese New Year or birthdays and special celebration. The Chinese people, including those in Penang, will give ang pao. And this word ang pao is a Hokkien word, but it has become common all over. In all languages, ang pao means red packet. The next example is gu. Gu is the cow. Gu. Ba is meat. Ba is meat. Gu ba is beef. Gu ba means the beef. The meat of the cow is beef. So beef is gu ba. Gu has becomes gu. Gu becomes gu. Gu ba. Gu ba. The next one is lang. Lang is person or people. Lang is person or people. And then tao. I think tao we have come across earlier. Yeah, tao is head. Tao is head. Lang tao. Lang tao means people's head, and it can also be used to mean head count. Lu quy lệ lang tao. How many head count do you have? Head count is lang tao. Lang tao literally means people's head, and it comes from lang plus tao. The next one is bo. Bo we have learned before in the first video on intonation. We have learned bo. Bo means dozen. Bo means dozen, and jio is to invite. Jio is to invite. So put them together and you get bo jio. Bo jio means does not invite. Does not invite or do not invite. And this is also another word that you will find in Singapore Hokkien, and it's written as B-O-J-I-O. But here in Penang Hokkien, this is how we write it, bo jio. And in Penang Hokkien, you will see very clearly how each word is spelled according to how it is pronounced. So that's bo jio. Bo jio means does not invite or do not invite. The next example is tu. Tu is cupboard. Tu is cupboard. Ka, we have learned before, is leg. Ka is leg. So put them together, we get tu ka. Tu ka. Tu ka is the leg of the cupboard, or the foot of the cupboard. So tu ka. And you will notice that tu ka sounds the same as the earlier tu ka. The other tu ka is the pork leg. So tu ka and tu ka sound the same but are spelled differently. So in Taiji romanization, there are instances of words that are pronounced in the same way but are spelled differently so that it's easy for a person reading the text to immediately understand if he comes across, for example, the word tukar. Is it referring to the leg of the cupboard, or is it the pork leg? So if you are talking about the pork leg inside the cupboard, so then the word tukar might appear twice. So it is necessary to know which tukar you are talking about. The next one is pai. Pai is to arrange. Pai is to arrange, and chu is house. Chu is house. Put them together and you get pai chu. Pai chu is link house. Houses that are arranged together. Houses that are arranged together is called pai chu. You can also say terrace house. So pai chu. So that completes the tone 2. Now we go to tone 3. As I mentioned earlier, tone 3 changes to tone 1. Tone 3 changes to tone 1. So words in the citation form that are with tone 3 is like core. Core is pants or trousers. Core is pants or trousers. It has a tone 3. You can put another syllables together to it, like core plus car, the legs of the pen or the pen legs. It is core car. So core has changed to core. Core has changed to core. Core car. The next word is lao. Lao is licking, dripping. And zui is water. You have seen zui before in pang zui. Now zui appears again. So lao plus zui becomes lao zui. Lao zui means to lick water. Lao zui is to lick water. Next one is is duck. Nui is egg. Plus nui becomes duck egg. Duck egg is nui. Okay? Plus egg, nui. The next word sounds almost the same as is ark. Ark is to water something. To water as in watering your plants in the garden. To ark. Ark plus haw. Haw is rain. Rain is haw. So ark plus haw becomes ark haw. Ark haw is to get caught in the rain. As though you are being watered by the rain. So ark haw is to get caught in the rain, to get wet in the rain. Ark haw. The next one is sao. Sao is to sweep. Sao is to sweep. And then sao what? Te is the earth. Te is the earth. So sao te is to sweep the floor. To sweep the floor is sao te. And the last word in tone 3 is to. To is table. Table is to. Then teng is the top part. Teng is the top part. So you put together to and teng, you get to teng. To teng. To teng can mean the top surface of the table, and it can also mean the whole table on its own. So when we speak in Penang Hokkien, we often refer to the entire table as to teng, even though literally to teng actually means the top part of the table. But regardless, just remember that when people say I'm going to buy a to teng, that means I'm going to buy the table, not just the top part of the table. Okay, to teng is the table. Now, the next one is tone 4. Tone 4. Words that starts with tone 4. For example, the word kang. Kang is river. Pi is side. So, river side in Penang Hokkien is kang pi. And here you see tone 4 changes to tone 1. Tone 4 changes to tone 1. Kang becomes kang pi. Te. The next one is te. Te means short. Te is short. So short pants, short pants is tê kho. Tê kho. Tê kho means short pants. Kho, we have learned also earlier, so it reappears here. But here it does not sandhi. It doesn't change because it's the final syllable. So when it's the final syllable, it doesn't change. Only the word te change becomes te kho. Te kho. Now, another word that sounds the same but spelled differently is te. Te is, we have seen before also, it means bottom. Bottom. So, te plus kho becomes te kho. Te kho means bottom pants or rather underpants. So, underpants te kho is spelled differently from short pants te kho. Okay, but the pronunciation is exactly the same. So you can only differentiate a lot of the words based on the writing. The spelling in Taiji romanization will let you know that which particular word you are referring to. For example, te kho. Which particular te kho? Is it short pants? Is it underpants? Okay, so you'll see by the spelling to know whether it is which one. The next word is bo. Bo, which we have seen before. Bo means wife. Kia. Kia means children or child. So, bo plus kia becomes bo kia. Bo kia can mean family. Literally, your wife and your children. Bo kia is your family. Your family. Bo kia. The next word is xiao. Xiao is mad, crazy. And then you can put it with lang, people, which we have learned before, lang. So, xiao plus lang is xiao lang, means crazy person. So, that is a xiao lang, that is a crazy person. Xiao lang. So, xiao, tone 4 becomes tone 1. And then the final one with tone 4 is b. B. B is rice, uncooked rice. Uncooked rice is called b. You put with hun. Hun means a powdery stuff. You get bihun. Bihun is actually rice noodle. So bihun is rice noodle. B plus hun. And lastly is tone 3-3. And as you know, tone 3-3 doesn't change, well, regardless how you put it. So the first word if tone 3-3 is lao. L-A-U 3-3. Remember, look at the spelling carefully. If it's lao with a tone 3 only, it means licking, as in lao chui, which we learned earlier. But here lao with tone 3-3 means old. So lao plus lang is lao lang. Lao lang is old man. Old man or old person. Lao lang. So it is necessary for you when you are reading Penang Hokkien to notice, to observe how the words are written, how they are spelled. If it's 3-3, you must put the 3-3. If it's only a single 3, then you use a single 3. So, lao lang is old man. Ku, ku 3-3 also mean old, but it's used for non-person, for objects and non-person. So, ku plus chu. Chu, we learned earlier in pai chu. Word chu means house. So, ku plus chu is ku chu, old house. My old house means my previous house. Ku chu. Ku plus chu. Next one is law. Law is road. Law is road. And tao is head. Law plus tao is law tao. Law tao means junction. Literally, the head part of the road. Law tao is junction. And then the next one is, this word also we have seen before, ho. Ho is rain. Ho is rain. So, ho plus chui. Chui also we have seen before. Chui is water. So, ho plus chui is rainwater. Ho chui. Ho chui. Rainwater. Next one is mi. Mi. Mi is noodle. Mi is noodle. But you put with gu. Gu is tortoise. Miku is a flour noodle or flour bun that looks like a tortoise. So you will see the miku used in festive days where the people, the Chinese people will buy it for worship. So that's the miku. Miku. Mi plus gu. And finally is pui. Pui is cooked rice. Just now we saw B. B is uncooked rice. husk but uncooked rice. Pui is cooked rice. Pui plus tang. Tang is bucket. Pui tang. Pui tang is the bucket that holds the cooked rice. But this is also used to mean a person who eats a lot of rice. If you are a person who need to eat a lot of rice, you are known as a pui tang, which means you are a bucket of cooked rice. Okay, so to recap, tone SANDHI in Penang Hokkien comprise the 4 tones 1, 2, 3, 4 and tone 3, 3. And tone 1 and tone 2 in the citation form will SANDHI to tone 3. Tone 3 and 4 in the citation form will SANDHI to tone 1. Tone 3, 3 in the citation form doesn't change its tone, it SANDHIs back to still tone 3, 3. Okay, so 1 and 2 becomes 3, 3 and 4 becomes 1, 3, 3 doesn't change. So my friend, that concludes our video on tone SANDHI. I hope you enjoy it, and if you do, please take a moment to give this video a like so that YouTube will share it to more people. And subscribe to the Learn Penang Hokkien YouTube channel for more videos such as this as I take you progressively step by step in learning Penang Hokkien. At the same time, hit the notification bell so that I can notify you every time I upload a new video. Share this video with any of your friends who are keen to learn Penang Hokkien. In the past, it's so difficult to find material to learn our language. But with this Learn Penang Hokkien YouTube channel, you can now learn Penang Hokkien from the comfort of your home, whether you're in Penang or somewhere in Malaysia or anywhere in the world. We are now able to bring our language to you, right to you, and it's going to be free of charge. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and as I conclude this video, I thank you very much for watching.